Hello Uganda, welcome to Smart 24 TV. But specifically this evening, we shall be diving into technology issues, and that is why, if you look carefully in my background, there is the Smart Tech program. And today, of course, from the Smart Tech perspective, we shall be discussing quite a number of technological advancements for East Africa. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, once again, and welcome to Smart 24 TV, where we bring you the latest insights into the world of technology through the Smart Tech program. Now, tonight we have a special treat for you, a live discussion with international experts on digital ledger platforms. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly are digital ledger platforms and how can these platforms benefit us as East Africans or even as Ugandans particularly? But buckle up for this conversation because we are about to delve into the fascinating world of digital ledgers. Now, just for the purpose of my audience tonight, digital ledger platforms are often referred to as blockchain platforms, or a type of distinguished or distributed ledger technology, which we refer to as the DLT, that enables secure, transparent, and decentralized record keeping. Now, the most well-known application of digital ledger platforms is in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, for example, but their potential extends far beyond just financial transactions. And also, we are going to discover so much what it pertains from digital ledger platforms. But let us start with the basics of digital ledger platforms. And we know already that often they are referred to as DLT, or what we refer to as distributed ledger technology. Now, these are innovative systems designed, again, to record, share, and synchronize transactions in a decentralized manner. Now, the most well-known example that we all know, apart from the distributed ledger technology, the most common example we know are the blockchain technologies. So the most well-known example that we have is the blockchain, but there are others as well, and that is why we have hosted international experts tonight to discuss with us all those other examples of digital ledger platforms. Of course, our experts are here to help us understand the nitty-gritties of digital ledger platforms and how can they benefit us in Uganda and East Africa at large. At this moment, let me take this opportunity to welcome our international experts and our guests tonight. For those that are online, please introduce yourself and let's get to hear from you, your names, what you do, the organization that you're representing today, and what you'll be sharing with us tonight. Thank you so much. Jose, I can start
off. Absolutely, thank you very much, Clinton, and a good evening to the audience there. So my name is Jose Mella. I'm one of the founders, as the rest of the team are, of Smart Trade Africa. We have been working in terms of an operation on a distributed ledger to improve the transparency and visibility of the trade supply chain. And we have also been undertaking a digital ledger in terms of this transparency of working with people like Michael Hunt, who works with the UK government, in terms of structure of visibility in agriculture of digital data. I hand it over to Chris.
Let me hear from my other guest as well. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Clinton, and lovely welcome to the audience. My name is Chris Sander. I'm based in the Netherlands. I have a long-standing banking background. I've been working for global international banks, focusing on trade finance. And say the last 9 years, I've been focusing on innovation in trade finance. As you know, it is a very ancient service that banks provide. And I've applied blockchain and distributed ledger technology to improve the services banks would render to their clients. Leading a couple of projects on behalf of one Dutch bank, solutions like Marco Polo, which is an open account trade finance blockchain application, and Contour, which is also a blockchain application focused on documentary trade. Learned about the complexity of applying blockchain technology in trade finance, and especially what I've learned from the technology is that it eases the pain that trade finance is facing, and stakeholders in the trade finance community are facing at the moment to do trade finance. And we have learned that blockchain technology would help bringing back trust into the community in doing transactions, as well as giving access to other services like finance or other liquidity, or other services that would enable farmers, cooperatives in doing more business intra-country, but also cross-country.
Thank you so much, Chris. Chris Sanderman,
hello everybody. Hello everybody. My name is Ted Moyer. My professional background is I'm a lawyer, and I know those two rhyme. My vocation is as an academic, and I'm an entrepreneur working with these two other gentlemen on the panel. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Perhaps I should have said good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are, because I'm currently across the world and it's morning. I believe it's in East Africa, it's night now. I'm very much looking forward to this discussion and happy to chip in with the legal perspectives. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much, Ted Moyer. I think let me start with you, Ted. Considering you're having your morning sessions right now, maybe just to inform you, Ted, in Uganda it is 8 p.m. and of course you were right about that. It's evening hours. But Ted, let's have a small discussion with you. It is fascinating to know that digital ledger platforms provide a global, secure, and transparent database. But can you explain to us how exactly do these ledger platforms work? And can you provide a brief overview of the significance of such platforms in the modern technological landscape? Over to you, Ted.
Okay, that is a brilliant question, which of course my other panelists would be happy to chip in. But how digital ledger platforms work is essentially the words that you've been talking about from this show started. We're talking about systems that are transparent, which means that anybody can actually see what happens on those platforms. And that's as far as generalizations go. You know, we have public and private, but whoever is involved in that transaction or is involved in that system can actually see all the information that passes through.
Yeah, okay, I think maybe there is an internet connection issue that is actually affecting Ted, but we hopefully think he will be back or the internet will be stable anytime soon. Let me hear from Chris Sanderman. Is Chris Sanderman available? I hope your internet will be stable this time. Chris Sanderman? Hello, Chris. Okay, I think for the purpose of my audience, my guests tonight are having quite a bit of technical issues, especially when it comes to the internet. But we know that these people have talked about the blockchain technology, and we are trying to ensure that we create more awareness of digital ledger platforms to the East African country. But when we talk about blockchain technology, it is categorized in two ways. We have the decentralized technology, and here we have digital ledger platforms that use a decentralized network of computers to maintain a shared and synchronized ledger. That is important for those that have businesses. It's important that you start using record-keeping mechanisms like the digital ledger platforms, which eliminate the need for a central authority or intermediary. So you realize that with such technologies, you go or get rid of the intermediaries. You don't need intermediaries to do this work for you, and there is need for a central authority. So I think, to me, with decentralized network nodes, these help you to have a secure and transparent way of of keeping your records. And then we also have the consensus mechanism. Now, the blockchain networks use consensus algorithms to agree on the validity of transactions before adding them to the ledger. And of course, common consensus mechanisms, we have what we call the proof of work, we have what we call the proof of stake. Now, those are two consensus mechanisms that use blockchain networks to ensure that they have a validity of transactions before adding them to a ledger. So those are the two types of blockchain technologies that we use when it comes to securing a transparent record keeping system. Now, it's very fascinating that we have different types of secure transparent databases that we can use for blockchain systems like this. It is very unfortunate that my team and my guests having technical issues, but they would have told you about the blockchain technologies that help people to have key limitations when it comes to associated technologies. Now, in opinion with industries and with different sectors, we want to understand how do such platforms benefit different sectors in the country? How do such platforms benefit different industries in the country? We need to understand how they can be incorporated in each industry in the country. To us, that would be very important. Let me try and call again my guests to be on board. I hope they would be having stable network. I hope. All right. So anyway, according to my team, my guests will be with us shortly. I think they're trying to have a stable internet connection. But let's discuss some of the components of digital ledger platforms. We have quite a number of components. One is that we have what we call the blocks. Now, when it comes to transactions, transactions are normally grouped into what we call blocks, and each block contains a reference to the previous block. I'm sure my guests will be able to expound more on what these blocks are. But we create a chain of blocks, and these blocks have their reference, which helps you to maintain the record of that very transaction. So for businesses that do record keeping, it's important that you maintain your blocks. And these blocks, we say that they are transactions that are grouped into blocks, and each block has a reference to the previous block. So that helps you create a chain of blocks, and that to me is very important when it comes to record keeping purposes. And then the other component that we have is the cryptographic hashing. Now, the cryptographic hashing is where we find that each block is linked to the previous block using a cryptographic hashtag. Now, this helps you give you the momentum, and this helps you to ensure the integrity of the entire chain. So what we're talking about here is that we have transactions that are grouped into blocks, but at the same time, these blocks are also coordinated using cryptographic hashtags. And these cryptographic hashtags are the ones that are linked to each block for each transaction that you make. Now, we would like to make sure that we have a special connection or interaction or conversation with our international experts, and therefore, for the purpose of my audience, I would like to call for a commercial break. We shall be back with a stable connection. We shall be back with our conversation with our international experts so that we can get to know more about digital ledger platforms. Thank you so much. We'll be back shortly.
Smart